Hi there, and welcome to Grounded Health and Wellness YouTube channel. My name is Kate, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the importance of what we actually digest and not so much what we eat. So, the body, according to Ayurveda, is really this holistic system. And when we're talking about digestion, we're not just talking about things that we're putting in our mouth and going through the regular GI tract as far as digestion. We're also talking about things that are digested through all of our senses. So, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste and touch, all of those things need to be digested by the body. And in Ayurveda, they refer to this function of digestion as agni. That's Agni. And it's very important when we're talking about overall wellness that you have a strong agni or a strong level of digestion. So, depending on a lot of different factors, and everybody is very unique, but your ability to digest correctly for your body to give you an overall sense of wellness will vary specific to you. So, perhaps you digest plant-based proteins very well, where the next person needs bioavailable protein in order to assimilate those nutrients better by the gut. So that can be very different. That can also relate to what's going on chemically in your body as far as what enzymes you have available. It can even go to your ancestors and perhaps what they ate, because you're carrying down kind of that genetic blueprint from your ancestors as far as what was normal for them when we're talking about food. So shifting away from actually what we're putting in through our mouths to digest, talking about perhaps what you are seeing or listening. So if you're somebody that is addicted to the news, the first thing you do in the morning is kind of flip on your phone and you're seeing all of, the world's comings and goings or things like that. That can be very stressful to the nervous system. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of doom and gloom in the world. There's also a lot of joy. But I would say for the most part, those media streams are geared towards bringing kind of these very dramatic happenings to you front and center. So if you're taking that in through the eyes or you're turning on the news and you're listening to that all the time, this is a lot of heaviness and negativity that is constantly needing to be digested by you, your nervous system, and so forth. So that would all put a stress on top of your agni and that digestion. So we want to look at practices that would help mitigate that and make it a little bit gentler for us to move more freely and have a more free flowing digestion. So perhaps you find going in nature is something that really helps kind of bring you into a place of ease, and that kind of tones the nervous system. So again, you're listening, you're looking, maybe you're touching the plants outside. I had an earlier video where we talked about grounding, the powers of that. If you haven't seen that, go check that one out. But all of these activities are going to help support a beautiful agni and digestive system. Now, switching back to food real quick, because I know a lot of people are kind of, can you give me a food list? Can you give me a recipe book? And the short answer is this is so different for everyone, and you really have to find what is right for you and your body. And that may change depending on the stage of life you're in, how much stress you're currently under, if you have nutrient deficiencies, all of these things. But what I do say is you want to kind of reach towards nourishment that feels good in your body and you find that your body digests it well. If you're someone who eats, let's say, a salad that is, very raw, and that takes a lot of digestive energy to break that down, and you seem to notice it coming out the other end, almost looking exactly the same way, then your body is not digesting that well. So you may opt to lightly steam the salad or the vegetables so that it starts to break down a little bit of that for you and pre-digest it before you have to or your body rather has to digest that on its own. So that's just one example. The other thing is if you find that you have any kind of symptoms after you're intaking something. So if you get a lot of gas or bloating, you're not digesting what you're eating, even if that is what kind of um, the fad is, that is healthy food. I can tell you right now, I never did well with smoothies. When the smoothie craze was out there, throw everything in, blend it all up and drink it. First of all, it's very cold. It can be very hard on your digestion and heavy. From an Ayurvedic perspective, sometimes you're mixing foods together that don't assimilate well in the body. Again, that's something if you would like to work together and dive a little bit deeper. It's a little bit too much to get involved on this video, but there are combinations of food that particular your own constitution may struggle to break that down. And for me, that didn't work. So even though it was deemed as healthy, and this was all the rage as far as getting on board with that, for me, it was not right for my particular digestion. So back to the adage of it's not what you eat, it's what you can digest. This is something that you should bring into your realm as far as kind of a rule to live by, and really honoring that in your body and turning out or blocking out all the noise, the white noise, that is kind of steering you in a direction that perhaps might not be right for your body. So I'm going to leave it at that there today. So we want to make sure that we're finding foods or nourishment that do well with our body and we find that we can digest them with ease. And then we also want to ensure that our senses are being nurtured from what we are allowing that to take in. So maybe a little bit more joy, a little bit more nature, less gossip, heaviness, negativity that the world can sometimes turn into this kind of cyclone. It's putting a big burden on our overall agni and digestion. And we would like to move with a little more freeness and more fluidity in all aspects of our life. So that's it for me for now. Be sure to subscribe at the end of the video for more free tips across yoga, Ayurveda, and circadian wellness.